faces of Christian and Yazidi refugees from northern Iraq. They fled the brutality of ISIS when the Jihad army took over their towns 2 years ago. Today, many are still living in refugee camps, dependent on assistance from the world community. The men can't find work, the children can't go to school, and they wonder, will they ever go back to their normal lives and to their homes? And we ask you to continue to remember them in your prayers. Well, millions of refugees have fled neighboring Syria. The civil war there is now entering its 6th year. Hard to believe that. Peace talks are now underway, but at least 250,000 people have died in the fighting. What started as a rebellion against the Assad government has turned into a larger conflict involving Russia and the U.S. It also fostered the rise of the Islamic State, which, as we know, has established a Muslim caliphate in parts of Syria and northern Iraq. Most of Syria's population has fled the country, causing a major refugee crisis that is overwhelmingly surrounding nations. The Christian humanitarian agency World Vision is helping many of those refugees. And earlier, Gary Lane spoke with Syria Response Director Wynn Flaughton about their work.
The number of people that are being affected continues to increase, and the ways that they are trying to cope with this crisis by moving out of the region, by continuing to move to neighboring countries from Syria, just indicates that it continues to get worse. And in particular, I think it's families who have children and are trying to keep the families together that are having a difficult time, especially with this.
I know you've been helping refugees, but now with this ceasefire in place, how are groups like World Vision helping people inside Syria? Over
the last 6 months, the intensity of the fighting had increased, and access to different communities was getting more and more difficult. At this point in time, with the ceasefire and with the cessation of hostilities, we're finding that we are able to reach more places with a bit more security, but we are unclear yet how long that will hold.
And it's still very risky, I'm sure, but peace talks are underway. And how likely is it that these folks can return to their homes? And what happens if they do? Won't they still need help?
World Vision just completed a study on the cost of the economic cost of the crisis on Syria, and at this point in time, it's $275 billion, and that does not include the cost of reconstruction, and so it's going to be an immense task. Also, I think the social implications, particularly for children whom we would expect to both inherit and rebuild Syria. There have been 24.5 million years of lost education, and so the task as we look forward is immense.
And besides ending the war, what's the greatest thing the world community can do to help these refugees now?
World Vision recently conducted a survey, and 70% of the population they surveyed in the United States said that people would be interested to help. 44% said that they were doing something, and only 30% said that they were actually praying for the crisis. So that's certainly number one. As Christians, we pray for mercy, and we pray that this would be resolved. The second thing is to become more informed. A conflict like this, it makes people feel like they're very distant.
And when we know that World Vision is a Christian organization, and many of these victims are Muslim, so what impact does it have when they actually see Christian groups reaching out to help them?
We work with any group, regardless of religion or race or creed. They understand that we might have a different religion, but thus far we have been accepted very well in every place that we've sought to work.
Okay, Wynn Flaughton from World Vision, our prayers will be with you and your team. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.